And you cannot complete the best of without talking about Data East.
Only second to my seconds.
That's right. You'll talk about it last, but we still going to talk about it. The top 5 best Data East games of all time. Because when we came up in pinball as kids, we were late 80s, early 90s kids for the most part. These were the games that were on location.
Yes.
These are the games we seen at the laundromats or the bowling alleys or the arcades.
Because they were the newest games.
We saw Bally Williams stuff and we saw Data East stuff.
Exactly.
So these are nostalgic for a lot of you who can afford to buy pinball machines now.
Yes.
And that's why they hold a near and dear spot to us, especially. Right up there with Sega. Maybe even more so for me than Sega.
They are for me too. But I just fell in love with the way Sega's played. They're a little snappier. You know what I'm saying? I'm
thinking about retro gaming because we like that stuff as well. They feel very akin to those times when Bally Williams was the Nintendo, Super Nintendo. And Sega Genesis was kind of the Data East of its time. And then it surpassed. I don't know why it feels like from Data East to Sega feels like when we went from NES Genesis to Super Nintendo. And I just felt like around the same time.
Yes.
These console wars and you had these different pinball manufacturer wars. I don't know, it's just
the only reason I prefer any Sega over a Data East probably
Sega is a Dreamcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sega is basically a Stern. I mean, it's the snappy flippers.
It's the same company.
I mean, it was a very different feel. It did not feel like Bally Williams. It definitely didn't feel like a Data East because Data East are still they're a little softer.
But Data East were always still snappier than like Bally Williams.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Gottlieb died. Gottlieb was like the Jaguar or the 3DO.
I swear to God, I look at that the same way too.
It is.
You are spot on.
Thing.
You are completely spot on.
All right. So the top 5. We love Data East games.
I do.
But bang for your buck, man. There's some killers in this. The top 5, the number 5 greatest Data East pinball machine of all time is Last Action Hero.
So much in it.
Bang for your buck, and it is loaded down.
It is.
It was like they tried to go up against Addams Family.
Yes.
So they put the magnets under the playfield. They put the kickbacks in there.
Yeah, all the drop targets.
The crane.
Yes, the crane is so cool.
It's a wide body. They fully loaded this game down around an Arnold Schwarzenegger license.
Yeah. Which the movie was just what it was.
It was.
That's why that pin doesn't get the love that it is, but it's still Arnold.
It's still a great game.
It's still got a lot going. I mean, me and you fell in love with it because we played it at Louisville Expo one year, and we couldn't get off it, man. We played so many games.
And it's not going to confuse you.
No.
It's a handful of modes and multi-balls, and that's it. It's 90s.
It just shoots well, and it's got a lot going on.
I would say that our number 4, we don't like as much as we like all the rest on the list, but objectively, this would be most pinball players, probably collectively, their number 1 Data East of all time. And it's the Who's Tommy Pinball Wizard.
A great game.
What a great game.
Man, does it shoot good.
Similar layout to Tales from the Crypt.
Yes.
Does some things differently. Wonderful, wonderful layout. The theme is kind of weird to me.
Yeah, no.
But I love the plane in the back. I love
the blinders.
The music.
Are neat.
The modes are fun.
Yes.
Put a color DMD in this as well. It's a great.
And it's a beautiful game.
It really is.
I mean, it really is
pretty.
Game. And that's
the blinders, man. God, the blinders.
That's the first pinball machine that I had that I recall playing. It was at a laundromat by us, and it was like one of my very first interactions with pinball that I would play. Love it.
For me, it was the number 3 game. My first interactions was Lethal Weapon 3.
Ooh,
and fittingly, it falls into number 3 of the greatest database pinball machines of all time. I remember. Okay. I remembered seeing that back glass all the time. It's just a great game. Lethal Weapon 3 is just again a solid game.
It is solid.
You're not going to get. It's not crazy.
No, beyond simplistic. I'll always argue.
It's like whirlwind type of fun.
But it's not easy, man. Like Chuck Wirt is one of the people that kind of I just fell in love with it anyways. But Chuck Wirt was one of the only people that championed that game with me. Yeah. And as good of a player as what Eric is, Eric will still tell you, hey, it's not an easy game. No. It's not an easy game to run through, and it really isn't.
But it's got like the sequences.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's fun.
Simple.
Dude, it brings back the movie stuff. Exactly. It brings back the movie stuff. Even doing the freaking, the video mode in there to shoot the targets. It's fun. And you're fighting rigs and you
can pick the music at the beginning.
Yes. You're going ZZ Top or you're going
the CC Fun Factory or whatever it is. That's fun. It's a cool game. Go out and play. If you haven't given it a real good chance, that's a solid game.
It is very solid.
It's a good lineup filler, too. That's a good game to put in lineup.
Yes.
But the number 2 greatest Data East pinball machine of all time was my first pinball machine ever that I owned. It's Jurassic Park. It's your favorite theme of all time.
It is.
You own one now.
Yes, I do.
I think it's underappreciated.
It actually is. Some people get mad about the one ramp, single ramp.
It's got divert. It's Adam's family
It
ramp.
does divert.
It's Adam's
I
family ramp.
1,000,000% agree.
Yeah.
But the modes,
Modes are fun.
are fun. You know what? The modes are so hard because they time out so quick. And you've really, and there's some shots you can't hit
Some
off
of them, like,
of
you
one
got to get in the
flipper.
pop bumper so many times.
Because you can't really hit that T-Rex off of that left
No.
flipper. So you got to be
You
on that
bounce it
right.
coming
Yes. And then you've got to get it up into that dock to be
Yeah.
able to hit the third flipper to make that orbit.
That's
you need.
true.
Like,
I
dude,
do like that.
It's some tough stuff.
I don't like how the modes differentiate themselves, like a pop mode, or you have like the kickback, the egg mode.
Yeah.
I like the little DNA.
Yeah.
I just,
You got to hit the ramp for Bone Busters or whatever on there.
And I
Yeah,
love
Bone
the
Busters.
Wizard mode.
Oh,
the
dude,
Wizard
it's
mode, the
so
system
good.
shutdown.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You get a T-Rex that eats the ball out of a saucer.
He looked like a lizard. Like he
It
looked like
so
a
scary.
ugly.
He looked like T-Rex. He was like a damn brontosaurus or whatever
yeah.
on there. Yeah, like what?
But it's cool, and
Dude,
the art's horrible.
art's
It's
definitely
just
horrible. It's
With little
mushy.
nub fingers,
It's
Newman
so
nub
mushy.
fingers, but there's just something about it.
The dude, it's cool. It's got
Do we
some
have-
of that nostalgia too.
Can't believe we didn't put Independence Day in the top 5 Segas.
Dude, it's a flowy great game.
No, but it's just.
It's a flowy great game.
But the greatest Data East pinball machine of all time, and we both agree on this, it's Tales from the Crypt.
What an amazing
The
layout.
Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
Who,
Borg did amazing on that.
and it just fits to pinball.
It does.
So well. It's creepy and kooky.
Just the ramps, the wire forms, everything you're shooting
UV
at.
reactive inks.
Oh,
the
it's so
the
good.
tombstone that you hit, the big one that
Yes.
comes down and opens up another
Yeah.
shot.
The modes are good in that too.
Upper
like
play
the code.
or the upper flipper feed. Yeah, the
Yes.
modes are. There's a lot of modes.
There
in that
are.
game.
It's so good.
Hard to get through.
Yeah.
Pretty basic, but it's just again the number ones on these lists that we're making. They're just the most well-rounded.
Yes, it's a very solid game.
Yeah,
All the
really,
way around.
really
You know, it's a cool theme. You know, kind of creepy with the shit in there.
Even to the plunger that is the doorknob.
The door knocker is amazing, dude. That's
Tails
so
doesn't have that. You need to add that.
Yes. Oh, you gotta have
It doesn't have a shake. I think it might have a shaker motor in it too.
My Lost World's got a shaker.
Yeah.
So that probably does.
It might have a shaker.
I
Yeah, it's
bet it
just,
does.
Jurassic Park does, yeah.
Yeah, Jurassic Park's got a shaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I bet it's
So
got
is
a
Last
shaker.
Action Hero.
Yeah, it's got a shaker. I guarantee it's got a shaker. So good.
Just a fun game.
It really
If
is.
you like that theme too. But that like
Yeah.
screams 90s nostalgia.
But just know, even if you don't like the theme that much, just know that it's still a great game to play and run through. So if you just never give it a chance because it's, you know, Tales from the Crypt and it's not really your thing, still play it, dude. It's still so much fun.
Remember Tales from the Hood?
I do remember.
I love that movie.
I did too.
God, I love that show. Was that the one with the little mannequin?
Yeah, the
looked
little
like-
doll
looked like
thing.
Penny Hardaway,
Yeah,
little-
the little doll thing. Yes.
We are 90s kids,
So
man.
crazy, man.
God, I love the 90s, and I love Data East Pinball. That was your top 5 greatest Data East Pinball machines of all time.